Hello, it's Medge from the Aime Show. So you know that the Aime Show is a place to come to find tips and tools to feel better, have healthy habits with Michelle, and live a better and more fulfilled life. Today I am with Michelle and we will talk about freedom. Hello, Michelle. How are you?
Hello, Medge. What a beautiful topic. Freedom. What are we free from?
So much.
Everything we choose.
So we are doing this show for 4th of July. So
Yes.
4th of July to all of you who are listening. And so we want to talk about freedom, but freedom seems to be just freedom. We think about freedom like we are free to do, but also we need to realize that we are free to be. We are free to have education, access to education, free to have access to health, alternative health if we want alternative health. We are not forced to do something that we don't want to do. That is freedom. Freedom is also the possibility to be married or not, right? So
Yes.
we have to think about freedom as something way bigger and larger than we see when we say, oh, it's 4th of July, freedom. We have the country, we are free. But we are free to enterprise. We are free to have a company. We are free to do anything we want. And we want to believe that, right? What is freedom for you, Michelle?
Well, you just touched on something valuable. I went to my library and I got a book on the wit of Ben Franklin, one of our forefathers. And he believed so much in freedom that he dedicated his entire life to freedom and freedom of speech. He had the first printing press. He was also the first person to actually print money.
Oh,
And that's such a beautiful energy in the world. Before we had paper money, people traded. I'd give you a sack of corn, you'd give me a sack of sugar. But we were always trading energy. And we're at a crossroads, I think, in the world today that we don't respect energy. If you look outside how hot it is, something is off in the environment, and it's due to our lack of awareness of Mother Earth and how we need to protect her energy. That's what freedom is to me. How can I help Mother Earth gain back a beautiful world that we were born into?
I like that. I like your idea of freedom, not only freedom of what we believe, what is seen, but also freedom of the unseen with freedom of energy. Oh, I absolutely agree. And I feel that we really have to be very, very aware of what's going on in the world. You know, yesterday I was at the beach. It was a
Oh,
beautiful day. When I went into the water was quiet, calm, beautiful. A blue, very ocean blue, but
mm,
I could see my feet and everything. And suddenly, I will say 3 hours later, the ocean became really turbulent with it was dirty in I say, wow, what's going on? And you know, we have a lot of chemtrail in the sky. We have all this abusive, I will say, aspect of what's going on in the world with the environment. So we freedom is about me wanting to breathe a fresh air, good air. I would love to let each of us. Yes, you are free to do whatever you want, but I am free also to live in a beautiful world where I can walk at night. I can do whatever I want, but without feeling that I can be oppressed or I feel bad about going out, for example. I would like the world to become what it was before, where we can leave the door open, where, and you talk about exchange. I like that, and I feel that with the craziness where we are right now, we might come back to a truck, because people don't realize that I give you a service, you give me money for it. People don't realize that it's normal. So people are always will say, oh no, it's too much. But what the freedom is, I like to, for example, I like to pay taxes. People say, oh, I don't like to pay that. I like to pay taxes because if I pay taxes, that means I can pay them, right?
Yes.
And if you have to pay taxes, that means you make money also. It's crazy, but it's true. So we have to see all the sides of freedom. And exactly what you were saying earlier when we were talking, find what are your priorities? What are your goals? What are your objectives? And when we arrive at one point to say, okay, I have planned that, and you say the moon in Capricorn right now, the full moon in Capricorn, I have no clue what that means, but maybe you will tell us what that means. Because I learned with Michele, and she's extremely knowledgeable in the subject of astrology and astronomy, because she have both sides. I begin to understand why and how we are flowing in life, and life is a process, and we are flowing. So now we are in Capricorn, but just before we were in Virgo, you were telling me, oh, that is a good moon to plan.
Yes.
And now it's a good moon to think and to invest and to do all that. So tell us more about that, because that, when we learn all that, we have the freedom to act.
Well, Medge, to get back to our forefathers, they gave us freedom of choice, freedom from oppression. And how have we taken that gift? Do we realize how fortunate we are? Because when you have gratitude for freedom, then you use freedom wisely. Your goals are not just selfish goals, they're goals for the world, they're goals for community. It's very important to look at our food and the way we treat the land, because many people, I'm not saying I'm getting sick, but some people are allergic to certain foods. And it's only because people aren't aware that when they do something to the soil, it's going to affect our bodies. You were in the ocean and you were saying it was so beautiful, and then it changed. Well, maybe there's just too many boats rushing up and down, and they're speeding, and they're hurting the fish, and there's too much gasoline. What's wrong with just going slow and not having a motor? People are rushing and they're not going anywhere because they've lost the focus of what is the most important goal. And the most important goal in our life is to get to know our soul, to get to know why we came to this earth. And we have a mission. And when we come together in community, like this conversation, is what can we do to enhance our community? What does the neighbor need? And what do the streets need? And what about when people didn't throw things out the window? You look, people driving and their soda bottle goes flying. It just surprised, or people have dogs and they don't pick up, the doggy bag. It's, we have freedom, but we're not using it in respectful ways. And that's what hurts me, and why I like to be in community, because I can talk about things that are important. What do you think, where you live close to the water, what's missing around there now?
So I will say that 3 years ago, almost 4 years ago, it was quiet. It's really more quiet. We didn't have noise like that. So now we go on the beach, you have music, loud music.
Yeah.
And that's true. It's not as serene as it was
Yes.
before. So thinking about the environment, here
Yeah.
people are very conscious about being careful about the turtle. We are careful about all that, but it's because you have people coming from outside and are
Yeah.
less respectful because they don't live there. Because people who live here, they are very respectful because they want to preserve the environment. They really want to live in a place where, you know, we wake up and we have the beach closed and we want to see the beach beautiful, the ocean, you want to walk on the beach and you want to be safe. And that's true. It's not the case anymore because it's not
Respect.
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 My freedom begins where your ends. Your freedom,
Exactly.
mine ends. So when people realize that, maybe they will change, they will transform, and they will maybe begin to understand that it should be different.
Well, I just would like to express again the value of the full moon in Capricorn.
Yes.
That Capricorn is the season in the beginning of the year in January, and everybody is enthusiastic and they make a list. I'm going to lose 5 pounds. I'm going to call my mother and talk to her. I'm going to forgive my neighbor for, cutting down my tree. You have all this beautiful ambition. And here we are 6 months later. We have the full moon in Capricorn. And you know what it says? What did you do with those goals? Did you actually commit to them, or did you just write them down and forget about them?
Yeah.
And what I've discovered is really having commitments in life. Make a few commitments that you're capable of keeping, like caring for yourself, prayer, meditation, quality time with your family, taking care of the parks. I walk around and I live in a preserve, and I'm amazed how much trash people leave in the parks.
Yeah.
Aren't you surprised to see people disrespecting their neighbor's property
So
with
I'm
dirt?
shocked, but I will tell you,
Tell
uh,
me.
and I believe it's education. When you
Yeah,
educate your kids, well, I don't want to look like, oh, at my time it was better, but it wasn't better. But we have the
it was.
respect for we were respecting the older people. We were respecting. We have no.
Yes.
It was normal to be respectful no matter what. Now,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I look old when I say that, but even the music, I listen to some, and I say, oh, I'm happy that I don't even understand what they say sometimes because it's so ugly and awful that I don't even want to understand what they say. So my freedom is
Yeah.
to listen to nice music, is to watch movies that are empowering. My freedom is all that, and I choose that. I will not watch all this craziness on TV. I will not listen to this supposed comedy who are full of insanity. I will not, because I'm not interested. So I feel that we should understand. We should, like you say, write down what, who am I? What do I really like? What do I really
Yes.
want for my life? And have the freedom to respect every aspect, everything that you set your mind to. You know, sometimes it cannot happen. We have to step back and say, okay, that didn't work. Why? But in the same time, have the freedom to set goals, freedom to decide for who you are, freedom really to respect yourself. Because when you say they don't respect others, but I believe they don't respect themselves as well. Because if you drink a bottle of water and you put it on the beach, plastic on the beach, you know absolutely that it's not respectful because you wouldn't put the bottle in the middle of your living room. So why do you put it on the beach? You know, it's easy. We have garbage. You have even your own bag. You can put it in your bag and then, but all that it's about the education, the values that they give you at home also that are no more.
Well, you said it, Medge, and we'd like to end the show. Not that we're complaining. That's not the purpose of conversation. The conversation is to elevate consciousness, to say maybe I could make a few more goals that are about taking care of my spirit and also considering Mother Earth. How could I give a little bit of my time? In the old days, people would give 10%. It was called tithing, you
Yeah,
know, in biblical times. And they would take the money or the feed and they put it stockpile. But people don't give anymore. They say they don't have the money, but we have time. If you can't give money, you can give time or your talent. God gave you talent. That's what I give, I think, generously. I give my time all the time to listen to people, to encourage them to do their best, to help them see, you really have a lot of talent. But if you don't share your talent, you don't know how talented you are. So give your time, give your talent, and the world will come back and be much more generous. I think there's a little bit of a need for generosity.
but
Isn't that something to give?
absolutely. Absolutely. And yes, you are right. We need to understand that we have the freedom to not give money if we don't want or we don't have it, but give your time, give your expertise. You can mentor people, you have people who need it and who will benefit from your expertise and your knowledge.
Yeah.
So yes, so we gave you a lot of food for thought. So use this time because we are in vacation, right? We have 4 days of Independence Day weekend.
Yeah.
So use this time to really reflect on what is freedom for you. What would change in your life if you have this freedom that you believe it's important? And write goals, set goals.
Goals are beautiful. That's why it sounds like the gold. A goal is gold. So always go for the gold in your life. As I like to say when I say my prayers before I eat, I say, I'm raising the bar today. I'm above my limits. I'm going to let go of some of my fears and I'm going to forgive myself and forgive others. Maybe they weren't perfect, neither was I, but I can forgive and start fresh today. Let's pray that man reevaluates his goals to be kinder, more loving, more generous, and enjoy the freedom that people like Ben Franklin fought so hard to get for us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So may we all have
Happy,
freedom of speech, freedom of everything that you believe,
oh yeah,
freedom written in the Constitution, and
yeah.
all live better and happier and full of this healthy habit that Michelle and I talk about all the time. See you soon.
Thank you, Medge.
Thank you, Michelle.
Bye, my dear.
Bye bye.